Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Jefferson Highway Show. This historic highway was formed in 1915 by the Jefferson Highway Association. It runs from Winnipeg, Canada, all the way to New Orleans, Louisiana. Let's go! Welcome, everyone. You know, it is that time. It is the fourth Thursday of the month, and that means Roger Bell, the president of the Jefferson Highway Association, is here on Big Blend Radio's Jefferson Highway Show. We've been doing some extra episodes as we build towards the Jefferson Highway Travel Guide coming out, which will be out 100% for August, the episode in August coming out. It is American Adventures Month. And what better adventure can you take than traveling the Jefferson Highway from Winnipeg to New Orleans or back the other way? And American Adventures Month is all about all the Americas. So we got North America covered this way, right? How are you doing, Roger?
I'm doing good, Lisa. Just trying to stay cool in the summer heat of Oklahoma, but I'm doing good.
Oh, good to have you back on. And everyone excited today because we are going to Bunkie, Louisiana, and Avoyelles Parish. And this is the central region of the state. And they eat a lot of pork there. They do have alligators. They have shopping. They have history. And they are also, Roger, right, the community of the year for the Jefferson Highway Association, right? They just won that award.
Yes, we were privileged to be able to present the award to Wilbert and Mary, our conference this year. You know, some communities sometimes over the years you look at, and there's a decision. This year it was pretty easy because Bunkie has gone beyond our expectations in their embracing of the Jefferson Highway and its heritage there. And we were excited to be able to present the award to them this year.
Yeah, this is exciting because I was even, looking over everything they have done, which goes from everything from historical markers to having like an actual visitor center and being part of the Highway Association conference back in 2024. They drove all the way up to Oklahoma for the 2025 conference. I think they knew they were going to win. Let me tell you who's joining us on the show. They knew, and they went for it. They knew. We've got Wilbert Carmouche, who is the head of the Travel Avoyelles. If you go to travelavoyelles.com, the link is in the episode notes. So the head of the tourism department there for Avoyelles Parish, which is basically Bunkie and then the surrounding region. So welcome back, Wilbert. How are you?
Thanks for having me. We're probably a little warmer than Roger is right now because that's why when we hosted, we had our conference in April versus the normal June or July in the past. So we've got that one on Roger right now as to the heat wave.
I know. This is, the heat is what it is, right? Actually, I'm excited because Nancy and I are on the Jefferson Highway. In fact, we're in the middle of it. We're just outside Kansas City. So we got the Missouri part of it on one side of us and the Kansas portion. So we kind of feel like we're being cradled by the highway. So this is cool. Well, it's cool today after all the storms this morning. So, the highway does have its weather entertainment. But I want to bring Mary Guillory back on the show, who we also met at the conference. Mary, how are you doing?
Great. I'm so excited, and we're happy to hear from everybody and bringing a positive twist to the city of Bunkie. So we're excited.
It's very exciting, and we also are excited to have the mayor of Bunkie, Brenda Sampson, join us. Welcome, Mayor. How are you? Welcome, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here and so happy to represent Bunkie, and the Jefferson Highway has really, really been an asset and a good thing for Bunkie.
Yeah, I think so. So Bunkie, am I right that it's about a population of 5,000 people?
Just under 5,000. We're not quite at 5,000, but we're close.
So you're like the hub of Avoyelles Parish. See, I just want to say Avoyelles a lot now. I learned.
As far as the Jefferson Highway is concerned, because Bunkie is unique to Bunkie because we're the only town in the parish that the highway runs through. So that has been good for us. The town has really embraced the Jefferson Highway and really learned a lot about it that really wasn't known. So it's really been good for the town.
Oh, it's fantastic. I want to get into that. I know that Roger, is definitely, and the association is holding you all up as a positive light of what other communities can do. But I also want to bring our next guest on, who is Lynette Clarke, who is the historian of Bunkie and can probably give us some nice history about the Jefferson Highway in Bunkie. But I think it's important for everyone to know how Bunkie got its name. But welcome, Lynette. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's good to have you here. So
Very,
Bunkie is a
very
monkey.
excited about this.
Are too. So yeah, could you tell us about Bunkie the monkey?
Sure. This is all farmland. It's still pretty much farmland here. And the Hayes family, that's Haas, bought land from the Aryan family, and that is where Bunkie is. That's who owned all the land. And so when they got ready to build the railroad through here, the Hayes family had naming rights for the depot. And so they had a daughter. Her name was Mackie. It was actually a nickname, I think, to begin with. And she was just a small child, and her daddy brought her a mechanical monkey back from a trip. And so she just loved it and called it her Bunkie. So that became her nickname, Bunkie, and that's what everybody called her that as long as she lived. So that's what her dad wanted to name the depot, and they did, Bunkie. And there was a few folks there that weren't real happy about that, but he had the right to do it, and he did, and it has been that ever since. And we're unique. We're the only, I believe, in the United States called Bunkie, named Bunkie, Bunkie. I think there's another one, Bunkey or something like that, somewhere up in the northwest.
It's a cute name, and I think that's fun because it does really go to family roots, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, so it seems like it's continued on. And then getting into the area of what people can do. I was looking on the website today, and everyone, again, it's travelavoyelles.com, and that's linked in the episode notes. And don't forget to go to jeffersonhighway.org to learn more about how you can become a member of the Jefferson Highway Association. Definitely, when you look at how important the highway and getting involved in the revitalization of the highway, Mayor Sampson, you were talking about how important it is for Bunkie. So this helps in regards to tourism coming through, right? And travelers coming in and experiencing the history, good food. Apparently you've got a lot of pork going on, right, Mayor? That's food is part of this adventure.
Yeah, food is part of our culture here. What has really, the Jefferson Highway coming through here, because what happened is that the interstate came through Bunkie, and it took a lot of people away from Bunkie that normally would have to come through here, going to Baton Rouge, New Orleans, really traveling from north to south, or they had to come through Bunkie. And with the interstate, they didn't have to do that anymore. But now that the Jefferson Highway comes through here, it affords a lot of people to have to come through Bunkie, or they come through because of the Jefferson Highway. So that has been really an advantage for us, just learning about the Jefferson Highway, but it's an advantage, and it also helps the tourism here.
I love it. I love it. Roger, when we look at communities that really embrace this, do you want to tell some of the examples and bring Wilbert in on this too, and Mary, of what they've done? Because this is really how other communities, some have been doing this, but how other communities can duplicate this. And what I love is that you're not some huge city doing it. You're showing that a small community can be part of this. And I think, isn't that what Mr. Meredith wanted when he started the Jefferson Highway? Is the small communities on board as well as the cities?
Roger, go ahead. Then I'll chime in.
There's a great heritage in Bunkie for the Jefferson Highway. We're excited, that we have all these guests, and that just kind of shows the community's commitment to the Jefferson Highway and how great it's been. I mean, we have been involved a little bit with Bunkie over the last 3 or 4 years, but it really, our group as a whole was just unbelievably grateful of the reception we had on our bus tour in 2024 in Bunkie. It was an event that will be long remembered. The hospitality there, they had a great reception with booze all around. Their their center there with different everything from food, information to just great hospitality. And when you walk around the town, as we did that day, we saw businesses with signs in there. People already knew about the Jefferson Highway. It was the community has embraced it. And that's sometimes the community's only embraced it from maybe a chamber level or a tourism level, but you can see the pride that community has when you go there. And they are we know about our historic marker program, and they are one of our greatest examples of that. I'll have to let Wilbert tell you how many they have now, but it's been good because I have had people reach out to me, including a reporter last year from New Orleans, actually earlier this year, and he did a story on the Jefferson Highway, and I asked him how did he get it. He said he was traveling through Bunkie, Louisiana, and he saw all these signs and he was just intrigued by it, and he stopped and wanted to learn more about it. And they recently put up a kiosk for the Jefferson Highway in their community. They have now become an official visitor center of the Jefferson Highway, and I can only imagine there's probably more to come from this community. And it is a great stop along the way. There's a lot of great history and heritage in Avoyelles Parish that we were able to see firsthand on our bus tour. But I encourage everyone to make sure on any routing of the Jefferson Highway, you make time to stop in Avoyelles Parish, especially in Bunkie. The Depot Museum there is our official visitor center, and they will treat you right in that community.
That's awesome. Wilbert, fill us in a little bit about how this all got started for Bunkie.
Well, I'm looking at, and I'm going to steal Miss Lynette's thunder a little bit right here. But if we go back to 1919, when basically this all got started in the Bunkie area, we have two notable people that were leaders and proponents in the Jefferson Highway being recognized here in Bunkie. That is Mr. C.J. Pope and Mr. R.D. Nybert. And in 1919, the membership campaign in Louisiana developed into a competition for first honors in the Louisiana membership race. And in the first heat of the competition, which closed on January 13th, Bunkie was in the top recruitment position. And the second heat competition closed on January 25th of 1919, again with Bunkie maintaining the lead with at least 160 members. So we have a long history with Jefferson Highway and understanding what it was going to do for Bunkie now over 100 plus years. And when we knew you were coming and wanted to showcase that and showcase the area and showcase how it was still important, and the people 100 plus years later saw that, we came to the mayor and to Mrs. Clarke, who sits on the Tourist Commission representing the Bunkie area, and the Chamber of Commerce, and just the different leaders here. We explained what was going to happen, and it was the easiest, and I don't want to say sell because, we were not trying to sell it. We were just trying to revive it and revitalize it. And that event that you're talking about in April of 2024, when everyone came, it was just so easy to put together. We just called the different individuals and say, hey, you're invited to come to the table. This is what we would like for you to do. And it happened. We knew when the Jefferson Conference came here, we had the day trip. And we know that we could not bring everybody that was coming to every one of the locations that we really wanted to showcase. So we put a little spin on it and invited them to come to the table. And that's why when you walked into this full-blown infomercial festival, you name it, we had it. They all brought food samples from their area, information from that area, gave you a bag and say, go ahead and start your shopping for free and get all of the things that were at the different tables, and talking to the people that were representing, whether it was their nonprofit, whether it was their festival, all the communities throughout the parish. And we just had a ton of fun doing it. And of course, we had Miss Leodocia Pope here, who was a descendant of Mr. C.J. Pope, one of the founding members of the Jefferson Highway Association here, and she was honored as well by Roger recognizing her. And I think that was the pinnacle point of this whole conference as far as we were concerned. It did a lot of good things for Bunkie, but recognizing this person who's still working and who is still in the trenches in promoting the Jefferson Highway over 100 years later for something that her ancestor had started, I think was monumental.
It was truly a special moment because we were so grateful that it was arranged for her to be there. But we also had the granddaughter of the Jefferson Highway manager, and they were ones that met together when they were going over the route. They're both their grandfathers. They were both there. They were able to shake hands, talk to each other. When their grandfathers had worked on the Jefferson Highway route, 100 years before that. It was just a special moment that I really enjoyed, and I know our group enjoyed.
That's amazing. I want to go over and talk a little bit about the Bunkie Depot Museum. And so I think that Lynette would be, we're in Louisiana. Miss Lynette, that would be your department, right, to tell us a little bit about the depot, because it seems that Avoyelles, Parish, and Bunkie itself, obviously the depot got the name, we now know how it got its name, but this is what really made this a viable community, right, is the railroad.
Absolutely. And that's one reason that the Jefferson Highway chose the route to come through Bunkie. That was one of the selling points, because there were 3 railways that came through here at that time. So it made it a very desirable route to make the highway go through also. But telephone, telegraph, all of those sorts of things that were associated with the trains. And Texas Pacific, I think, was the first one, railway, and it changed hands after that.
So now it's become the official visitor center. So
correct,
that ties in like perfectly, right?
Yes, it does. And it's just right there on Jefferson Highway. It just a stone's throw away from the highway itself. So we were a railroad town. That's how the town developed, and we are still a railroad town. There are 17 trains, maybe 18, that come through here every day.
Wow.
But no longer stop.
Wow. So it's kind of like how the highway system is, been good and harsh, for communities, the same as a railroad town. Sometimes they stop, then they don't, so it's a interesting thing how our transportation can make or break a place. But it sounds like you guys, no matter what, have got a backbone that is very community driven. I wanted to go to Mary about that. Mary, it seems like, from what I've learned from Roger and just even sitting at the table at the banquet, listen, I'm just going to tell you, Louisiana knows how to party at these banquets. Yeah, you did. And what about at the murder mystery dinner?
Oh, that was wonderful. Yes.
I think you did good. But
we won that category.
See, this is a double doozy here, double dipping in there in those prizes. But Mary, the community side, can you touch on that about how the town understands what's going on for the Jefferson Highway? Because I think this is a very huge part of, you can do all the tourism work you want, but if your town doesn't know and become part of this movement, it's hard to really get that momentum going. Do you think, Mary, that that's been part of it, that the actual community is also behind this?
Yes, we agree. When Wilbert and I approached the mayor, she was head over heels. She was ready. She said, whatever I need to do. Again, Wilbert expressed it was such an easy sell to get the community involved in the Jefferson Highway. And it's pride in place. I mean, we would present it to some of the chambers of the Chamber of Commerce, and everybody was on board. And we knew that we were hosting the conference here, the day tour. And as Wilbur said previously, it was pride in place. Everyone, of course, the hospitality is great in Avoyelles. but everybody was so eager and so willing to do whatever was needed to make this make the Jefferson Highway a success, and continues today. I mean, just showing the new sign that was dedicated at the depot. Again, it was a large crowd. The state representative was there. Again, pride in place. That is our absolute highlight or success of the Jefferson Highway here in Bunkie.
And I would second some of that, because when we give awards, we have dedication. We see that I'm not able to be there. I'd love to be there, but I'm not over there. But I see the pictures, and there's always a big crowd. And when this award came back to Bunkie, they sent a picture, and there was, I don't know, 25 to 30 people in the photograph, all excited about the award for Bunkie. And that's just the nature of the folks there, and they've truly embraced it. And this is the thing that I tell people all the time is the communities that are embracing us now are going to be well ahead when things start to really kick off more and more for us when tourists start to travel. And I think we're already getting some hits. We talked about the guide that is coming out shortly from Big Blend and Lisa. And as we start to get some more hits from international travelers, it's just a community that everybody's going to want to stop at, because it's already got the backbone in place there. And they've already embraced it. And there's always something going on there, and they are, none of this has really come from us. It's really come from the community that just has said, we want to be involved. And you'll have to remind me, Mary and Wilbert, how many signs you have there, but I want to say it's 11 or so historic markers in the community. Is pretty close.
I think it's something like that in counting, because we're working on a couple of more that we know, because we've identified where the courts place was, a tourist court.
Tourist court.
Yeah.
Tourist court.
Yeah.
Oh,
That, and then we know where the electric company, that was the local electric company, was started here as well. So we've got a few more coming down the pipe. So there's more to come with that. But also, Roger and Lisa and the group that is in here, we were fortunate enough that when the group came by in April, that they realized that they wanted to stop here when the convoy came through.
Yeah.
And I think
that's correct.
I think that was in October, if I remember right, when
Yes, that's correct.
When the convoy came. So again, I came to the mayor along with Mary and Miss Lynette and say, "Company's coming again." But it was just
wonderful.
It was just so wonderful that we said we've got to feed them. But in the style of Bunkie, they said, we're not just going to feed the convoy people, we want to feed the whole community.
Yes.
So the fire department, was it the fire department?
Yes.
The fire department came and they cooked for everyone. So
It was a picnic, actually.
It was a picnic outside. Weather was beautiful. Yes. And I think we fed 250 people that day. Because they came, the convoy was here, all of the equipment that they drove, or the different things that they drove here, and that was all on display. But then, as I said, when the community came, then they were able to visit all of the equipment and the trucks and the different vehicles that they had. And it was like they were only supposed to stay, I'm going to say an hour, but I think that went a little bit over. We ran them. They were late in getting to their next destination because the people were so engaged with them, and it was just absolutely wonderful. Yes,
bikers.
We had bikers from the Netherlands, I think, over here that stopped by, and I mean, it was just a wonderful opportunity. And then another thing that is happening here, and I want the mayor to talk about that too, is the different things that are developing along the highway, how the town is coming up. I mean, right now they're getting ready to have a grand opening for a service station.
Yes.
So talk about that, Mayor.
Well, not a gas station.
Yeah.
A service station.
Exactly. And I tell you what's so wonderful about the service station that everybody already sees, we're kind of going back in time, because people drive up and say, we don't have to get out the car. They're going to clean our windshields. Nobody can believe that. It's so wonderful that we're going to have that. Our grand opening for that is August 2nd. Yes, and that's
Awesome.
one of our major businessmen that does wonderful and really has revitalized Main Street. We're going to have a big thing here, and we're excited about that, a car show. And I just want to say that the small town charm of the town and the people are always helpful here, and the parish. They want to do things. They want to be involved. When the bus came through town, people were asking, well, what is that bus? So that was a good way for us to educate, because I got a lot of education from it. So it was just wonderful. And it's just a lot of things going on. And the tourism here is so good for Bunkie.
Wow. You know what? I think this is a very important question regarding the service station. Will Boudin be available in the service station? I'm getting there. I'm practicing.
Think if we'd have had you one more evening at that table.
I think I would have had a little too much more wine. I don't know, but
red wine and Boudin pair well together.
Yes, they do. Anything with pork goes well with red wine or you know, and a rosé. But yeah, the Boudin. Now, Boudin is a lot of people always think Southwest Louisiana, but you know, when we think about the history of your area, food is very tied to the culture of the people. And from what I know about Louisiana is that you can go to a gas station or a service station. I haven't been to a service station. I've been to gas stations, and you can get some of the best food in the state in a gas station. And I'm not saying that it's like, oh, the best out of gas. I mean, you are going to get like a hot box of lunch. You can get po' boys, you can get boudin, you can get meat pies, all that kind of stuff. So, Mayor Sampson, what does the food look like? Because I know this is the most important thing. You know,
I tell you, the food would be wonderful, because if you go in Griffith's Antiques, there are all kinds of things there that you will definitely enjoy. And it's connected. In fact, what I understand, you can order your food at the service station and then pick it up in the the restaurant. So it's all kind of things going on there, and not just the good food, but then there are all kind of things that you can buy, things that are really
unique.
Yeah, unique to Bunkie, unique to the area. So there are all kinds of things that you can get there, and up and down Main Street and all of our shops. It's a great atmosphere.
He said you better get this service station.
I'm telling you. Well, we're going to be there in November. We cannot wait. Nancy and I are waiting. Like, she's like, she wants, you know, Nancy loves her pork, anything to do with bacon, cracklings, any of that. So she's preparing for this. You know, she just feels like we're going to have really good food. But I know it. But you all are so much fun. And this is part of the thing to me about the highways. When you see signs, I mean, Nancy and I we got lost in graveyards in Oklahoma. I just want you to know. And I tell you what, we ended up back in Caddo. And anyway, we went twirling around, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here's a Jefferson Highway sign, and our little hearts got so excited, because when you see a sign with the Jefferson Highway with a historical marker or a highway sign, like saying the Jefferson Highway, I don't know, when you're part of it, your pride of this becomes kind of little crazy, honestly. And I think what you are all doing with these historic signs and historic markers are so important. I wanted to go back on some of the history of Bunkie, because obviously you've got, Cajun history, right? And then you've got the indigenous peoples, so a lot of cultural history. But you know, when you think about, there was the highway, there's the railroad, but then aren't you part of, Miss Lynette, there's the Solomon Northrop, am I getting this right?
That's correct. Yes, that is definitely correct. It was a big part of this community. You remember I told you in the beginning that it's a farming community, plantations. And so there was certainly slave labor here. And the Solomon Northrop terrible thing that it was took place in this area. But he won his freedom in this area.
Yeah, I remember going to it was like a house on the university campus and near Alexandria. So you guys are all connected in that region, right?
That was part of our bus tour. We'll see that. And not only that, we got to see reenactors. So,
wow.
Really special reenactors that were that day that really gave it a great flavor, and people really enjoyed it.
This is so important about the history, but then you turn around and do I believe that you've got one of those places that go ding, 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 you may have won? You've got a casino thing going on, Wilbert, in the region. What's going on?
That's about 30 minutes away from
Okay,
here
that's not far.
in the town of Marksville, which is the parish seat.
But you've also got some pies.
Ooh,
Okay, wait,
yeah.
this is important.
Well, at Griffin's, they have delicious homemade pies there.
Okay. Now pie is important. What is the flavor of pie that you'd say for the area?
Coconut cream, lemon,
Yeah.
chocolate, pecan, apple.
Key lime.
Key lime, yes.
My favorite
No.
is the banana split pie.
Wow, I've never heard of that. Well, that goes with Bunkie the monkey wants a banana split.
And when I was there, one of the things I bought there from Griffin's there was actually a Bunkie the monkey stuffed animal. I still have it.
See,
Well,
Bunkie the monkey and Priscilla, our pink sock monkey, who did make a little debut at the conference in McAllister. She is ready, and I think she may have to get a new hat. And she may want a new dress. We may have to do some dress up for her to be prepared, because I feel as friendly and fun as you all are, there's a little competitive streak that comes out of Bunkie. Just go back in your history of, being a little competitive with the highway when it was first.
it was very competitive, and
Yes.
Mr. Pope went down to New Orleans and he did some fast talking and sweet talking and got them to see that coming through Bunkie would absolutely be the best route to take.
Wow. And would we call this stomping? Am I getting that?
I think so. Absolutely.
Yeah, stomping. Well, now this is so cool. So the museum, what I wanted to know, do you have like photos of the Jefferson Highway at all, or anything in the museum that shows some of the history from the highway and the highway being there when it was first started?
Well, we don't have pictures though that I can think of right now, but we do have the written history.
That's a work in progress. There's so many layers to this.
Yeah.
And what we're just right over a year into this, and I think we've made wonderful strides, and there's much more to come. So it's going to keep on, because as we said, people have embraced this. We're going to be working with an intern from a university this fall, and that's certainly one of the things that we're going to look at as well to continue upgrading and just keep that JH on storefront windows, and we want the people that when they come through, if they don't know about Jefferson Highway, we want them to say, what is that JH about?
Yeah.
And for those that do know what Jefferson Highway is to say, wow, we know we're.
You mentioned the competitive nature. They might be in line for another award sometime down there.
I think they're inching in there. Why do you think
I'm not going to
Wilbert's
stop
on
until
the
we have to
board?
bring them home in a U-Haul.
Wilbert got on the board for a reason. That's the other thing, is like you're really going at it. And a board isn't just a title when you join a board. And I know from the Jefferson Highway Association, everyone is volunteers there, and everyone's really working at it, thinking at it, what can be the best thing to do, talking to communities. Roger, I don't know how you do it. I just got to think, Michelle and Mary and everyone that, I've connected with from the board, and all the board members are fun. And, but they really have an integrity of the history. And I think what's so exciting about all this is we're talking about history, learning about trains and all of that. But then there's this whole other side that's like, let's have fun. And I think that's the really cool thing. I think because of Bunkie, having a monkey history, that I think it's going to resonate for families. So I wanted to go to you, Mary. What do you think about Bunkie being like a family destination, and Avoyelles, that region, for families? Because I feel like every kid wants a Bunkie monkey, just like Roger has.
We do. Bunkie has embraced family, and they've opened, the mayor, several parks, wellness trails. They're working on the splash pad. They have a splash pad, and shopping is kind of unique as well. They have the Hoover's Five and Dime, which is kind of like that retro aspect of shopping back in the
Yeah.
day, kind of in Branson, that was the Dick's Five and Dime. So all of these old nostalgic toys, which is an amazing trip, just visiting that place. It's really unique for the community as well as the parish, because I don't think they have anything.
I don't think so.
Of that type of store.
If you walk into that store and you walk out without buying something, shame on you.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I love this. I love this. Well, shopping is big in parks, like you're saying too. I have to ask because of the nature side of what we do, because we travel full time, documenting parks, public lands, and I know we can go see a gator, right? Wilbert, come on, we want to see our alligators. Can we make that happen?
We can make that happen. In fact, we have them in a habitat in one of our hotel lobbies.
Oh, well.
Yeah, we had one on the street in Bunkie.
Mayor had one on the street.
Just in case she has to put someone in line? What?
Yeah, there you go.
We've got another mascot there, see?
I know.
Well, we may become the town of mascots.
I like well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that, So good shopping, definitely good food. Miss Lynette, any other historic sites that folks traveling the highway and visiting Bunkie should know about?
There's so much, and sometimes you want to think I'm stealing Miss Lynette's thunder here, but it's like, how far do we get them off the Jefferson Highway? Because we've got this wonderful, it's not a historical place, but it's sort of unique for us here in central Louisiana. We have an RV water park resort that is here called Gator Grounds. So if people are coming in with their RV, it's a perfect opportunity to go there. I mean, and that's about, I would say, 5 miles off the Jefferson Highway, but you're right there for all kinds of entertainment based on that water park. And let me tell you, we ride a Mardi Gras parade through there every time. And where else can you walk? Because Mary and I normally walk the parade route. We give them beads and they give us boudin.
Yes.
Lisa, you've got to come to that. Again, cracklings that they're cooking. Now, where else can you get that on a parade route?
Oh, man, that's cool. Now, do you have pralines? Is it pralines? Praline?
Yes.
And I'm going to let Miss Lynette tell y'all about the corn festival that we have here annually, because she talked about the land.
Yes. And the thing is, there are so many fields around here growing crops like sugarcane, soybeans, and corn, cotton, a little bit of cotton. But and we take it so for granted. It's such a part of our culture. But there are people who come through here that have never seen sugarcane being grown to understand where we get our sweet stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, I grew up with sugarcane, and that was in Africa. And as soon as I saw it, it's like where rice grows, sugarcane grows, and that's an important thing in life. Two big deals, and isn't that tied back to your boudin? I mean, you got pigs, and you got rice, and you got sugarcane in the state of Louisiana. So that's part of that boudin, delicacy out there. Is you can get a little bit of all of that, and pecans. Apparently it's not pecans, it's pecans. Ooh. I don't know. I'll have to get that under control. But
you made my heart feel
food
good.
Is really what's historically growing
You're
there,
one of us
and what
now.
lives there, and this is a farming community. Miss Lynette, did they do flowers too? Because I know Nancy and I got really trolled around through I think we've been to your area, but maybe about 10, 11 years ago.
For instance,
and we didn't really know where we were going, but I remember seeing daylily fields and flower fields.
Yes.
Are you near that area, or is it mostly crops?
It's mostly crops, but we have been pushing and encouraging, I guess, the planting of wildflowers. And there are several people who are really active in this, and it is beautiful when you see that.
Nice. I remember orchids being out there too. Somebody was growing orchids. I can't.
How far is it? The Iron Bridge?
How far is the Iron Bridge?
The Iron Bridge is about 40 minutes away, which is a historic. There's just so much to see here because the whole parish, we call ourselves parish versus counties, has 9 municipalities and Tunica Biloxi Reservation, which we sort of call 10th city because they're a sovereign nation. And, we talked about the casino. Well, that is only one of their enterprises. They have a cultural center, which is really, really nice, with a museum in there as well that tells, just like when we visited the Choctaw Nation in McAllister, ours here, it has the history of the Tunica Biloxi Indian tribe, the Native Americans, and it's just because that is two tribes that merged. The Tunicas merged with the Biloxi Native Americans, and they became the Tunica Biloxi. So, as I said, that is managed in that tribe and depicted absolutely wonderfully. And the construction of the building is, with the chairman at the time, wanted to make sure that as much product that could be purchased from Avoyelles, and the craftsmen all had to be from Avoyelles Parish that built this magnificent complex of the Tunica Biloxi Cultural and Educational Resource Center. So, as we say, we talked about this, but a lot of pride in place, but that happens in all of our communities. Going back to the Northup Trail that Miss Lynette was talking about, on January 4th of 2026, we're dropping a bronze statue of Solomon Northup depicting darkness to hope. Because he was freed from that site on that day in 1853. On January 4th, 1853 is where Avoyelles Parish gave him his freedom back. Right?
Wow.
With and Roger talked about the reenactors. We had Waddell, who was an attorney that helped that happen, and then of course we had Solomon, who played himself, and how happy that he was that. And we're still working with his ancestors.
Wow.
Different documents and different things, and they're helping us with this statue that's going to be in an interpretive plaza on the courthouse square house, but it was the site of where he was freed on that 1853, and 5 miles down, he left on the Red River on that next morning. And the people from Avoyelles Parish helped him to do that.
That's amazing. It's amazing, this history that you have. I know you've got a lot of plantation houses and a lot of architectural interest as well, but it's really going back to the people, the culture, And that's what I love about places like Bunkie, and I just love the state of Louisiana personally.
There is so much here. And let me circle back to Bunkie for a second, because we alluded to the service station having its grand opening on August 2nd. But listen to this one. The grand opening promotion. If your birth date is 1959 or earlier, which I do qualify for.
You go, Wilbert. Here's this competitive streak coming up.
But listen to this one. You get up to 15 gallons of fuel for 25 cents a gallon that day.
No way.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Y'all, that's incentive to start driving the highway.
And Mr. Kogis is sponsoring a car show that day, so it's going to be... The nostalgia here on that day will be unbelievable.
Roger was in his Mustang.
Yeah, the wild thing.
He would make that road trip on that day.
Yeah, talk about it.
I sure hope we get some good pictures and video of this and that. That'll be really great.
Yeah, Roger, I think you need to go there.
I'm sure there will be a professional photographer once, and we can maybe make that happen with Shannon Fender.
See, listen to Wilbert work this. Look at him. We're not there, but I can hear him already go, well, maybe we can have this,
I can't see either, but you should see the fingers and the notes we're passing to one another.
I know it. It's already happening, right? This is the thing too. I wanted to touch on this because it's Avoyelles Parish, and Bunkie is definitely like a hub for the Jefferson Highway. But I think we always want to talk about the fact that the highway is, there's the highway, but it's a corridor. Please explore beyond the corridor a little bit here and there. If you're going through Oklahoma and you're a Bob Dylan fan, I say go to the Bob Dylan Museum and Arlo Guthrie's too. You can't do one without the other, apparently, I've been told. But, that's the kind of thing is to go also to the neighboring communities. So in closing, Wilbert, do you think communities around Bunkie are starting to go, what have we been missing out on? And if they haven't joined on the Jefferson Highway train, I'm just saying, even though it's a highway, the convoy. They need to join the convoy of being part of it. Are you seeing other communities kind of go, well, maybe we got to find out what's going on there and be part of it? Do you want that to happen with your neighbors? I think it's important personally that everybody that's on the highway gets involved in, even if, even within an hour of the highway gets involved. What do you think?
Mind competition with parishes that surround me, but within my parish, I want collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anything competitive in my in my little home parish. I want us all to work together just as we did on the 24th of April of 24, because we invited every town to be here to say what it was, why people should get off the Jefferson Highway, stay longer in Avoyelles Parish, put heads in the beds, because that's what we're all about, and make them enjoy what the place that we live, work, and play right here.
And lodging, what we haven't touched on that, because you talked about this wonderful RV resort, and if you want to go there for Mardi Gras, you can get boudin and Mardi Gras beads, so this is very important. But what are the lodging options like for the region?
Well, let me say too, and it's interesting. I was telling some people this about a day ago. We have some very nice Airbnbs that are in town that a lot of times people don't know. We talk about Greg Coaches has a beautiful Airbnb, and there are some small houses that are Airbnbs that a lot of times people come into town and they can access those. So that works out, if they don't want to go 20 miles down the road to the casino, but we have that. But we do have some here in Bunkie.
I think that's a really important thing. Is we're working on lodging path throughout the whole route, historical lodging. And Airbnbs are an important part of that, and they really can give you a really good flavor of, a town by not staying in a chain hotel, and that's really great. Now there is a standing historic hotel in the community that I'm sure we would love to see restored back to its glory, but there is a lot of our travelers are just in groups of a car, so the Airbnbs really work well for us,
especially families.
That's right, and that historic hotel you're alluding to has come up for sale again, so we're going to put a commercial out there if somebody wants to buy a historic property and wants to.
If you're listening to this and you want to go to a community that really supports tourism,
talk about that would be a labor of love.
Just contact Wilbert. He'll get you hooked up with whoever you need to visit with.
He'll get competitive pricing too.
Like Lisa talked about a while ago, she said the board members of the Jefferson Highway. And I think the first thing that they have to be passionate people. And you see that in all of those board members. And basically, everyone that attends these conferences, everybody that we've come up with, you can see the passion for this Jefferson Highway and this association and keeping it alive. And I mean, you see that come through with every one of these people that attend these conferences. It's just that's one of the organizations that I'm in that I see passion come out from every person in the room, whether you're on the board or whether you're just enjoying the conference with all of us.
And the conference at the closing night of the banquet, when everybody came out with the flags, and to see the unity of, Winnipeg, Canada being connected to us, and it was like a North America, I don't know, it was like a love train. It was awesome to see all these flags unite. And the way the world is now, I thought, wow, we got some magic happening here, building this amazing, that's why I keep saying it's this corridor of community. And I think definitely what you all are doing in Bunkie is exceptional, and we cannot wait to visit. Are you kidding me? We cannot wait. But in closing, because we're going to behave on time, Roger, I think, this is going to be, we're being competitive now, So I wanted to go around the room in closing and ask each of you one word that resonates for Bunkie, for Jefferson Highway travelers coming through. One word, I don't know, maybe it's alligators, maybe it's pecans, maybe it's probably, it sounds like we could do a lot of words, but to make people realize what you have beyond anything we may have missed out. And I'll close with Roger on it. Since he's also been out that way. So let's start with you, Mayor Sampson.
I don't know. My word is excitement. I'm just excited going forward to see what comes next.
I am too. We can't wait. We're excited to get down there. Are you kidding me? I can't stand that this is all over Zoom. Come on, man. We need to get there in person. So, Miss Lynette, what about you? What's your word?
Can I do more than one word?
Yeah.
I'm not, listen, there's no judges here. That
All
part's
right.
been done.
The slogan for Bunkie all of my entire life, and that's a long time. Bunkie is the best spot topside God's green earth. And it is.
There you go. Man, now that's it. Like, I'm going to have to do something on that. I think that's what we're going to call this show episode. It's a long one. I don't know how Google will like it, but we don't care. That's amazing. That's a wonderful. Do you know who wrote that?
Yes. J. Howard IV. He was the editor of the newspaper of the Bunkie Record.
Ooh, and you got those newspapers, right?
Yes.
Oh, high-level newspapers. Love it. I love it. So, Mary, what about you? What's your word or saying or words?
Boudin.
Ah, yes. Got to get your boudin
You know I have
on.
to get you, Lisa.
Get those. I mean, really, boudin. And Mary, tell everybody, for those who don't know what boudin is, can you tell them it is the rice and the pork, right?
Boudin it's almost like a sausage, but it is the meat part. It's meat and rice, and it's stuffed into like a casing, and it's cooked, and then sometimes it's smoked. So it's like a rice dress. We call it dirty rice, but it's rice dressing, almost like in a sausage form, in a casing.
Yeah, you could get a sausage, you could get boudin balls. I've seen them in all kinds of
boudin
things.
balls, that's right.
Yeah. I was taught, like, when we first went to Louisiana, the first time, I mean, it was the beginning of the boudin awakening for us. And I was told by Jeff Benoit from Sulphur, Louisiana, in Southwest Louisiana. He's part of this boudin war or something that goes on. And he said, if you go to a business meeting, if you're a salesperson and you don't bring the boudins, that's like not showing up with donuts. And then I'm going like, you aren't getting anywhere. There's no stomping. There's no nothing. Nothing's going to happen unless you have that. And it has to be the square, like what you get for lunch, the big hot lunch. You better bring the boudin, otherwise there's no sales. That's right. That's right. So, Wilbert, what are you closing with? What's your word?
Bienvenue.
Whoa, say that again.
Bienvenue. Bienvenue, Bienvenue, means welcome in French.
Very nice. Very nice. Bienvenue. Okay, I'm gonna practice. Roger, what's your word for Bunkie?
Well, this is the quote community of the year, and I think that is the word that comes to my mind is community, because they are a community. Sometimes we deal with communities where we're just dealing with, one person that's embracing us, or, a tourism chamber person that's there for a short time, and then we don't. Here it's just we just feel like we're friends, we're a community. They're all about us, all in support of them, and we're excited that we were able to give them the honor of the community of the year this year.
That's awesome. Well, in closing, my word is monkey. Priscilla made me say that. Well, thank you all so much for joining us here on Big Glen Radio's Jefferson Highway Show. Please go to jeffersonhighway.org and learn more about the association. It is so cost effective for businesses and destination, DMO, CVBs, you know what I'm talking about, to join this association. And when you join, you can get a free listing in the guide and on the website, just saying. And there's so much more, as you can hear, what you can do to really bring people into your community on the Jefferson Highway and even off of the Jefferson Highway if you're in that corridor. And right now, road tripping is at the height. We are really, the country is road tripping, and whether people are staycationing within the same region, within the same parish, if you're in Louisiana and beyond, this is something that families can do, friends can do, as a thing. Like when you think about people hiking the Pacific Crest Trail or the Appalachian Trail, This highway is kind of like that, where you can sit and make this a project that you work on and you travel bit by bit or do the whole thing, which is, then you'll miss like a ton because there's so much to do. Again, think about it. Winnipeg to New Orleans to Winnipeg. A lot of ground to cover, and sometimes you can do it Arkansas in there, but that's a whole other show. Roger, we'll have to cover that. But thank you all so much. We are here with Roger every fourth Thursday, and we do have more episodes airing as we go and as we build this travel guide. So again, jeffersonhighway.org for the association to make sure you get your copy that's coming out at the end of, for the next episode in August of this podcast. Go to jeffersonhighwaytravelguide.com, sign up, put your name, your email, and you will get that link to view this digital guide. It's the first digital guide for the Jefferson Highway, so we feel very, very honored, and my knees are shaking about it. But anyway, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here on the Big Blend Radio Jefferson Highway Show. The show airs every fourth Thursday, and we encourage you to go to jeffersonhighway.org to learn more about the Jefferson Highway Association or even become a member. You can also dig into the history of the highway and share travel notes with friends at the Jefferson Highway Association Facebook group. Follow our shows at bigblendradio.com. Happy travels!